Welcome back. Is the Drunk Capitalist here today, and we are going to be talking about the club life. Is clubbing over? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I have stepped into a club since 2019. Okay, and honestly, the last club I think I ever been to was in New York City, and at the time, I think it was 2019, either 2019 or 2020. It was pretty cold, and luckily, I got into the club for free. Most women do. It just you don't hate the player, hate the game. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily can guarantee that I can get free drinks. So I ended up paying for a drink or two, like bears, and I remember distinctly that those drinks were over $20. I wasn't going for that. Did not like it. Was not feeling it, not one bit. And I don't think I've ever been to a club since. Like, I go to parties every now and again, but clubs, yeah, that's not my scene. And it's very hard to find clubs in New York City that are actually like uh black owned, or because it's not necessarily that I just want to be only around black people, but there's a certain vibe that you have when it's black people, and the music is different, the vibes are different. But the club life, that standing out in a line, waiting for a bouncer to let you in, all types of weird stuff going on, people feeling entitled to being next to you, and it was just too weird for me. Like, I enjoyed it when I was younger, and I think most of the reason why I enjoyed it is because I started going to the clubs before I was 21. That either that made it better for me or it ruined the experience for me. I don't really know. I just know I don't have a real desire to go back to a club. The only way you can get me back in a club is if it's not a club night. It's really a night of a party thrower that just happens to be throwing that party inside of a club. For example, something like a New Year's Eve party that's at a specific club because the space and venue is huge. That's the only way you're going to see me in a club again. And I haven't been since. I just go to underground parties and that's it. Club, no bueno. But let's get into this video. We're going to talk about the whole mess.
And a question tonight: is the fun nature of the nightclub scene dying out? Some people have been complaining about how much the culture of the club has changed in the past few years. Instead of dancing, people have their eyes glued to their damn cell phones and posting on social media. And we can't forget to mention the cost after paying for parking, entry, and then a section that's a private area with your little bottles. Some just aren't in a party mood anymore. We have beverage director and consultant Bevan Biggers, owner of bars and nightclubs Sean Outlaw, and an occasional club goer Rico Davis.
Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm in that party of I'm not in the party mood no more. I'm getting older. I have to focus, and the whole vibe of the club is always like, you gotta have best dressed. You gotta have the right, smells on. You gotta have your hair perfect. You gotta have your makeup perfect. You gotta wear all the right clothes. You gotta do all this stuff. You gotta get at the right time. It's just too freaking much. Like, it's just too much. I can't do it anymore. Like, I could just go to a regular party and wear regular clothes and be comfortable and happy and be in my bed by 11:30. That's what I want. Like, I need that type of vibe.
So, Rico, how has the club, in your opinion, from your perspective, lost its appeal?
I believe the parking first, because
This man said the parking is the first red flag. I mean, I can't really tell because, again, I don't really go to the clubs anymore, and I'm definitely not the person that is driving to a club like in Manhattan. Like, that sounds ridiculous because of the prices. So I guess he is right in that regard. But parking, I guess cuz part of the club culture, from what I've gathered, is pulling up to the front of the club with your very nice car, even though it's for a few seconds and no one will remember. Like, I guess that's part of it still for guys, but I've never, not once, pulled up to the front of a club. Like, no, like, never. If I've jumped out of a friend's car after fighting street parking, we're walking maybe 6 blocks after that in order to get to the club. So, no.
looking at paying almost $40 to $50 if you do valet parking, and just to get to the door, you're looking at sometimes $20, maybe $30. So you're looking at $80 just before you even get in the door.
Right.
And it's not fun anymore when you have to spend so much money to have a good time.
So yours is more on the financial aspect rather than people who are inside on their cell phones, not paying attention, not even socializing.
No one dance anymore.
Right.
You would see someone in a club and they're just literally on their phone the whole time. If you sit there, sometimes I like to do a lot of people watch. I would actually sit there and watch someone on their phone that long. It's like, it's no fun. I mean,
I would veer off to say, like, maybe it's because of people lost their way of, like, having connections and how to talk to each other because of, like, you know, the 3-year situation that we had where we were all locked in our cribs. But at the same time, when I was in the club when I was younger, people were still on their phones. Granted, they occasionally engage when, like, they hear music that they want to listen to, but I feel like that has always been a prevailing problem in parties and clubs, even, yeah, obviously to this day, is that when the music isn't right for the vibe and the people that's there, people literally just get bored immediately. And now there's an actual escape. I think probably before I was a club goer, people, when they got kind of bored of the music, that's when they would, you know, start moving around and meeting new people and talking to people. But with the current climate of, like, our social interactions, everyone's afraid to be, like, posted on social media, like, interacting with each other, like, because it's like, even you see videos of girls at the gym recording themselves in a workout, and if a guy even looks in their direction, they're ready to post it on TikTok and say, look, creepy guy looking at me in the gym. And it's like, because of that strange, you know, thing with social interaction, when people only feel comfortable interacting digitally now, when you get into places that are hugely social, it gets weird. And obviously before, you had situations where people were in, like, cliques or very cliquey when it comes to club going and stuff. You know, you get a section and you don't want nobody coming over to your section talking to you, and or you're not going to leave your section because you're in a section, you paid for it, you're not about to move from that area. So it's just a lot. That's a lot. Like, I don't know. That's why I don't go to the club. Imagine if I actually picked up my little self talking about, I'm about to go to the club tonight, and I get there and everybody's on their phone. Well, I could have did this at home. Like, I could have been on Instagram in my bed for free.
You know, me growing up, we go out to dance, to have a good time. But if your face is glued to the phone, what kind of fun is that?
Sean, your perspective as an owner out there, do you see many people not enjoying themselves, or you let the millennials and the Gen Zers just stay on their phones as long as they're spending that money with you?
Yeah, I mean, we work pretty hard for people to have a good time. We make sure that whether it's the music, the MC, the host, or maybe a guest we might bring on, they do a lot of twerking. Now, I don't know if you call that dancing, but there's a lot of twerking going on. But yeah, no, the people are on their phones a lot. A lot of times they're showing what they're doing. Or
Right,
what
instead of doing it.
Instead of doing it.
Yeah.
They're not living in the moment.
Because they have, like, the influencer culture, like, of, like, oh, I gotta show everybody what I'm doing because I gotta show that I'm a cool person, I'm lit and all that stuff. But I can't imagine being in a club when everyone's on their phone and then recording the club and nobody's moving anyway. That makes me look like I'm just one of the regular people that's not moving. So I don't really know how they get down with that. But again, this is why I say earlier, I pick and choose my parties very specifically, because I do not want to be if I'm going out to a club or a party, what I mean, it's like, I want to make sure that the people that are going to be there in order to have fun and to dance and not just record all night. Like, I hate it. Even when I was younger and I did go to the clubs, I was not a person that was posting on Instagram. I never posted on Instagram. I probably have one picture of me in a club, and that's it. You won't catch me posting parties and stuff. I was not posting anything. So I was not into the whole influencer, Snapchatting, all this stuff vibe. Like, I'm not about to spend my night on my phone showing people that's not there what's going on at the club that they're not at. Like, it just never made sense to me.
I see that But at the same time, I mean, you know, if you want to be on your phone and buy drinks, then I guess that's.
But I feel like if you want to be on your phone and buy drinks, it's better you just go to a lounge. Like, go to a lounge or a hookah spot, sit down. You could be on your phone. You could actually converse with the people around you. The music isn't as loud. It isn't as condensed in there. And you could just enjoy yourself. And you don't have any obligation to dance. Because I feel like if you go to a club or you go to a party, you have an obligation to dance. That's just me. Like,
that's your business.
And that's an important aspect, Bevan, that people want to show social media what they're doing, but they're not actually doing it.
Because sometimes when I go out, they'll be on their phones, and the only time they dance is if somebody has a camera in their face, like, "Hey, girl, woo." And then right when the camera's done,
mad fake.
Back on the phone, I'm like, what is going on?
Mad fake.
Me.
It's giving NPC vibes.
I'm definitely a dance person, so that's why I'm like at the Flat a lot, because people come in there specifically to dance and drink and dance. Like, I'm coming there to sweat, but it's really hard for me to enjoy myself. I'm not a section person. I'm not gonna get a bottle. I just want a few drinks and I just want to dance.
And our places like the Flat.
She's like me. I've never seen this video before, by the way. I have not seen this announcement. I just saw the title and I was like, yeah. But she is like me. Like, if I'm going to dance. I feel like you're obligated to do it, but I'm also not paying for none of that extra stuff, because notice who the club owner is. Okay? Notice the club owner. I'm not giving that man no more money. Okay? I'm not paying $800 for a section, and they have all these rules, and the bottles themselves don't cost that much money. The overpricing of the bottles is crazy. The bottles don't cost that much. Like, you're literally paying a huge premium just to have, like, a couch to yourself and you and your friends. And it's like, it's not that deep. You shouldn't even be sitting. You should be standing and dancing.
Fewer and far in between now.
Very few and far in between. But there is, like, a house movement going on. So there's a lot of, like private
house party?
No, like house music party scene where people are coming out specifically to dance. And it's usually house music. That's usually the scene where we're dancing the most. Everything else is twerking periodically for the camera, for your phone. So yeah, I'm just not enjoying myself if I can't dance.
And so, Rico, have you said, you know what, this is not for me, I might as well stay home? Yes. Or do you go to house party? What's your alternative?
My alternative is either like a lounge, someplace really where you're not going to dance. You just really go there to socialize and network. You know, I always say if I had to put together a party, it was one of those requirements where you have to leave your cell phone in the car. And I asked people, I was like, would you be interested? And a lot of people said, you know what, I would go. And I think that would be great, because now people really get to dance and talk and, you know, communication, because with cell phones now, there's no communications at all.
And Sean, you said you're hiring more entertainment at your spots. Do you think that will draw people out? Or is that even you sounded like you're satisfied with it as long as they keep spending that money.
Yeah, I mean, no, I think that
we
spend a lot of effort into making sure our customers have a good time. And we do get special guests, musicians, artists, or people on TV shows and things like that. And people do want to see them. But of course, to your point, they're filming them in the background because they're in the same place. So it's kind of funny. You know, but yeah, I mean, I would say though, you know, in terms of it being expensive to go out, right? There was some complaints about, well, it's getting kind of high to go out. There is, but I think if you were to go to the store, buy a bottle of liquor, buy all the mixers, get a DJ to come to your house, get a bunch of waitresses to bring you everything you need, get a bartender to make all your drinks, and then get someone to clean it all up at the end of the night, I think you'll spend more than you probably would at a night out.
Honestly, that's BS, because you wouldn't need to do all that. If you throw a little house party by yourself with you and your friends, you wouldn't need to do all that. Everybody brings a case of beer. You throw on a playlist on your favorite streaming service. You throw on a playlist. You don't need to hire no DJ. Like, okay? You know what you and your friends like to listen to, right? You don't need anybody to clean everything up, really, in most cases, depending on what kind of friends you got, because you have a garbage can. And because clubs don't have garbage cans. You have to put everything on a table or find somewhere to, like, throw it. Or bring it back to the bar or something. Like, that is, like, completely insane to me. So No. Like, absolutely not. And this is my problem, man. Like, him saying that, oh, the bottles and everything would be more expensive, is like, no, you're just overpricing it. Like, you're overpricing it completely. And the thing about it is that certain, like, club owners, they're like from an old school. They're from a time when clubs were different, where people didn't have cell phones that were so digitally attached, where people couldn't, get entertainment in real time whenever they wanted to. So I think they don't really take that into account, is that the attention span and the levels of entertainment that people my age and younger really expect is not something that they're actually providing. You saying you're getting different hosts or whatever, it doesn't really engage this generation of people, like, not even close. Like I don't know how to explain it, but you need to create different activities throughout the night. Like, it's sad, it's crazy, but he mentioned earlier people are twerking. You need to have a dedicated time where you do twerk contests at your club parties. You have to. Like, you have to make people, like, force people into enjoying the vibe. And then another thing with that is the music. Personally, I don't really like the unts. I don't like the house music. I don't really like certain things. So you have to really know what the crowd likes, and that's why I don't even go to the club, because I don't like club music that they play. I don't like it. I don't like it. Like, it's terrible to me. A lot of these DJs don't even know how to transition. They don't know how to go from one vibe to the next. They don't know how to do it. So it becomes this, everyone throwing, like, paint at the wall, trying to figure out what it is. And it's like, if you get on TikTok, you would, and really, like, search these people up, like, your customer base, and really get to know them, you would actually see what they're into. And I think that's why loungers are probably going to have way more attention in the next, like, coming decade, is like, because that is more what people are looking for. People are socially anxious a little bit. So if you can create an environment where people actually speak to each other, you're going to be winning. That's all I'm saying.
Freaking Uber. I like to Uber, so I don't have a parking complaint, because I'm gonna Uber to the establishment anyways.
And what I would say, if the customer service is great, the money's not a problem.
We want to thank you guys for joining us.
That's fair.
It's an ongoing debate.
So the customer service is great, the money's not a problem. I would say that really depends. That really depends, because most of the customer service that's happening in the club is obviously, like, at the door and at the bar. And I've been places, man, and they absolutely refuse to keep that bar staffed appropriately for the amount of people that are in the club. And that really puts a hamper on things, because it could be the nicest, sweetest, most pleasurable bartender in the world, but if it takes me 28 minutes to get a single drink, I am probably not coming back for another drink. I'm buying this one drink. I'm gonna take the skinniest straw I could find, and I'm gonna sit there for the rest of the night. I'm not coming back, because not only is the drink overpriced, it took too long to get it, even if the bartender's nice. So it's really, that customer service stuff is like, it comes down to staffing and a lot of different components. Like, having a single bar in a 1,000 square foot place, also bad, because now I gotta walk from way over there to get here to the one bar, because there's only the one bar. And then at the one bar, there's only a bartender and a bar back. Like, no, it's crazy. No, I don't want to do it. Bye. Like, never coming back. I'll see you guys next time. This was The Drunk Capitalist. Peace.